Hey guys, how's it going? Eli here, back with another video where today we're going to be talking about some potentially big news in regards to Evolving Skies and the future outlook on potential reprints happening for the booster boxes. Without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So, as always, getting out of the way, we're doing weekly giveaways. All you have to do to enter is be subscribed and then leave a like, comment down below on any of the videos we post each and every week, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Of course, we are giving away 12 Brilliant Star booster packs to 3 separate people, full booster box being given away each and every week, so multiple opportunities to win and multiple opportunities to enter. So without further ado, though, let's jump into today's topic. So a couple of things, both on the Evolving Skies news. The first one I want to point out is there has been some reports. I want to give a shout out to Raheem for this. He's one of our mods. He sent me pictures of reports of a ton of these 3-pack, like, not blisters, but boxes of Evolving Skies selling for $13.48. So basically you're paying around $13.50 or $4.50 a pack. Definitely below what market is for Evolving Skies. These can be found at your local Walmart. Of course, interestingly enough, one of the top commenters on is Walmart for the tweet. And these are, like I said before, just other ways for people to be able to access Evolving Skies product. And I find it quite curious that we just recently saw these items get added to the site. Of course, one of the other things I thought was quite curious, if you guys want to start tracking some of the sealed products, specifically for Evolving Skies, is if we take a look at the packs, you've seen the pack price go from almost $5 and now it's slowly starting to drop. Not a ton yet, granted. However, what's more important, or I think what's more of a big deal, is the Evolving Skies booster box prices. Now, we were seeing them push roughly around 190, and then all of a sudden they just started to tail down to 170. So booster box prices have dropped $20 in about the past week to week and a half. What happened? And now there's a couple of factors that I think are at play, and there's one big arcing factor that I really wanted to kind of discuss, and I've talked about this before on some of my videos. So I had made a prediction a couple of months ago, basically saying one of two things. I said if you see the price of Evolving Skies hit 160, 170, or anywhere close to the all-time high, I said that we are more than likely in the zone for what is going to potentially be a reprint. I said once it gets to that point, then a reprint is possible. I said if you get to a point, however, of where it breaks the all-time high of what it previously sold for on a weekly, not the all-time actual price high, but the weekly high, I said that we're in territory that is unknown in regards to how high Evolving Skies prices could go. Because people ask me all the time, Eli, do you think the booster box price could go down to $100? When it was at 140, 150, 160, I said yes. And as it got higher and higher, I said if it breaks that high, you're probably going to see 120 at best, because we've seen even when a Vivid Voltage ETB or booster boxes were going for 240, the price after the reprint still went down to 120. So it's not out of this realm for the price to still go down to 120, let alone 100. If we do see reprint, depending upon how massive it is, that's going to be the main thing we have to discuss. Obviously, before we fully jump into it, one thing I wanted to address, Brilliant Star. Obviously, I'd mentioned to people that Brilliant Star booster boxes, we had this discussion on a video a couple days ago, talking about the overall prices for Brilliant Stars, taking a look at the booster boxes. Prices went down and sideways. You haven't really seen much change. And that is something that I would say is pretty concerning to me. Of course, there could be an adjustment. Obviously, we saw it as low as 128. It's gone up, and I know some sites are actually selling them for around 120, 125. I still think there's more downside to go. Obviously, if you took my advice on what I had made in the video 2 days ago, where I said just wait 3 weeks before you make any sort of prediction on if it's going to push lower or not, I still am going to hold my reserves. But the question, of course, with that is how will that affect Evolving Skies if it does have a reprint? Is it going to be kind of what Brilliant Stars is doing? We don't know how big the reprint is. Obviously, as I mentioned to you guys before, I got 2.5 cases. That didn't really make that big of a deal. in regards to predicting how much I was allocated for the Vivid Voltage and Darkness Blaze reprint, because I was reprinted 2 cases and the price still tanked. Assuming the same argument goes for the booster boxes, I assumed that it could still tank as well, but only time will tell. But going back on topic to the Evolving Skies, once we hit the point, or we're in the territory of almost reaching or breaking the all-time high, is when I got to the point of where I said, if it happens, like I said before, we're in unknown territory. You can see this price go up extremely high, and it's going to be a very hard argument for you to make saying that we're going to go to $100 again. What happened? We hit 186, which is slightly below the high, got rejected off of price, and we've seen it go down since $20. We've seen it go down about 20 bucks. Now, I should say 15, 16, almost 20 bucks, I'll say. With that being said, I've talked about this before, and I'll keep harping on it, and I actually talked about it specifically a lot on Tuesday's live stream. Pokemon follows a lot of the same fundamentals of crypto, and crypto, as well as just general markets, follow a lot of the same fundamentals as the stock market. And when I say fundamentals, I mean from a charting perspective. Now, does that mean, of course, I want to compare, say, Pokemon to stocks? Of course, undeniably, they do have a lot of similarities. But from an investment perspective, I like to compare it more to cryptos. I've done a lot of deep dive videos comparing it to cryptos because there is such a correlating factor. If you want to compare returns in the stock market, you can always make that argument. But for me, personally, just general fundamentals, just a general volatility. I like to compare it more to cryptos than I do stocks. And one of the things that we've seen recently with crypto when it comes to leading trends is the price of cryptocurrencies just took an absolute dive, like an absolute dive. We saw the price of Bitcoin go from roughly 48,000, I want to say about a couple weeks ago, and it dropped all the way down to as low as slightly below 30K, which is a massive support area in regards to cryptocurrencies. What could potentially happen to follow with this is a massive dive, in my personal opinion, in the Pokemon market. And you might say to yourself, well, Eli, that seems a little extreme to make that call, saying that all of a sudden because of, the price of Bitcoin going down, that all of a sudden Evolving Skies is going to crash, right? Or all of a sudden, even without a reprint or with a reprint, it's going to go down. But one of the things I want to implore with you guys, and we can take a look at this right now, is if we go to TradingView and we start looking at the chart for TradingView on basically just how Bitcoin as a whole has performed, we can go back and take a look and see when Bitcoin last made its all-time high. So, as we can see right here, Bitcoin had made its all-time high, I want to say roughly around, goodness gracious, accept all. Sorry, it's making me accept the cookies. Basically around November, right? All-time high, right after Celebrations came out. How was Pokemon doing at that time? Let's take a look at Evolving Skies booster boxes. Well, as you can see, Evolving Skies booster boxes in October were at an all-time high. What followed after the reprint? You see an absolute price correction leading into November. What happened with crypto? All-time high. That's weird. They're doing the exact same thing. But what happened after, coincidentally, you saw it reach its low? You saw the price of Bitcoin start to absolutely tank shortly after. This is one of the things I've talked about, and you can go back and you can retest this chart over and over again, talking about 2016, talking about 2017, 2018. It has a strong correlation between one another. So what happened was basically you saw the price of Evolving Skies prices. They were going up, up, up in an uptrend. You saw the prices of Bitcoin go up, up, up in an uptrend. Then all of a sudden, Evolving Skies showed weakness. And several weeks later, Bitcoin showed weakness. It's a weird correlation. And I know you might think I'm crazy for this, but you can literally go back test it. This is something that has been very common, right? So price goes down, goes down, goes down, goes down, and crashes, right? Then what have you seen since, basically December? You have seen it went sideways for a while, and then basically, I want to say you really started to see an uptick sometime in end of January, early February. We go back, we take a look. we see that it is going sideways, and it looks like it reached its bottom end of January, early February, and what happened? It started to go up again. And for a while, it looked like it was going to make a run, then went down, then went up, went down, kind of went sideways, while Evolving Skies was making its run. Now, of course, it didn't really fully make a full-on run because there was a period where it did go sideways for a while. Look at this period right here on the chart. End of February, this is where it attempted to go higher. What happened then? It corrected slightly for about a month, and then after going sideways, went up. Bitcoin was going up, corrected slightly, and slightly is in Bitcoin terms, went volatile, went up, then went down, then slowly decided to go back up again. And then what happened just recently? Absolute tank. Now, of course, in the instances that I'm using with this, we've seen the majority of the time it has been the Pokemon market that has been leading crypto prices, and crypto has been following Pokemon. I am to believe that it's going to be the other way around this time. And the reason for that specifically has to do with what is currently going on in the stock market. For those people that don't know, a lot of people have been making videos about this. I've talked about this on a couple of videos before. We had a negative quarter of GDP growth to start the year, and we're looking like we're going to have a second one, more than likely based off of the reports on what's going on with the stock market, what's going on with crypto, and stocks and crypto are heavily correlated. Therefore, there is reason to believe that since stocks and crypto are correlated and cryptos and Pokemon are correlated, you're going to see something happen like that with Pokemon. Now, of course, we've never actually seen Pokemon in a full-on recession before. Crypto in a recession before, so who knows what's going to happen with crypto. We obviously saw what happened with Pokemon in a recession, talking about what happened with EX era product, what happened with, Diamond and Pearl era product, and how it became very low printed because of that. But when talking about what could potentially happen to Evolving Skies, I think there is an argument to be made that with a likely reprint on the horizon, more Pokemon product of Evolving Skies showing up in stores for the packs themselves, on top of a market recession on the loom, I think you're going to see Evolving Skies, and I don't think this is that crazy of a statement to say. I think you could see this price absolutely crash, because the fact that we don't even have a reprint confirmed yet, all we have is just news of Pokemon Evolving Skies product showing up right now in big box retailers, which could potentially hint to a reprint happening, because I want to let you guys know that there was a time where these first actually started showing up in Walmart of Unbroken Bonds 3-packs, and guess what followed shortly after? An Unbroken Bonds and a Unified Mind reprint. The same thing could potentially happen with Evolving Skies, and I said this at the start of the month or near the end of April. I said, I'm going to make a bold prediction, and I want you guys to keep me accountable for this. And I'm going to make this bold prediction once again, talk about on the stream. This is going to be my timestamp. There will be more than likely a reprint or news of a reprint for Evolving Skies this month. I'm going to say that. And if I am wrong, you guys can clown me on this, right? We've got about 3 or 4 weeks, but I have a very big intuition that there is. There are so many things lining up for it, whether it be the fact that we've got Worlds in August, and historically speaking, the Pokemon Company does have that kind of window right before Worlds come out where they're gonna like to do a lot of reprints, especially for high demand sets. You've got a recession on the horizon in regards to the market, and so I think that's going to have a correlating factor into overall demand with prices. That's going to cause an actual potential crash. But more importantly, on going back on topic of why I think the price could potentially have a reprint effect is, once again, the last time we saw these show up and there was a form of correlation, it had to do with Unbroken Bonds, 3-pack blisters, or 3-pack specialty packs. So there are a lot of correlating factors to not only a reprint happening, but also just an overall tankage in Evolving Skies, but also the market as a whole. The only reason why we're targeting Evolving Skies today mainly does have to come down to these showing up in stores. People might think this is a reach, but it's actually very much correlated, especially when, having worked with distributors for the past couple of years. I was there when the Unbroken Bonds reprint happened and the Unified Minds reprint happened. I was there at Walmart when they had these Unbroken Bond things show up. A lot of people were starting to say, hey, there's these Unbroken Bonds products showing up in stores. Is that kind of suspicious to a lot of people? Guess what happened shortly after? Unbroken Bonds news came that there was going to be a reprint. Was it a massive reprint? Enough to bring the booster boxes down to 120, Unified Minds down to 120. Prices sat and they were at 120 for at least a month, and that's Unified Minds and Broken Bonds. You guys know what the price of that is right now. So we talk about, of course, what could potentially happen to Evolving Skies with all these factors at play. Recession, new product forecasting, a potential reprint happening right before Worlds is about to go into play. Talking about the fact of the matter as well that the crypto market is currently crashing. We've seen huge correlation since 2016 between the two. I don't know about you guys, but I think there's some signs of weakness in regards to Evolving Skies potentially getting a massive price correction here. And we're seeing once again a signal from a market perspective, a sign of a double top. Now, for those people that don't understand what a double top is, it is a psychological form of resistance in a market trend where basically once you approach a certain previous high, there is a potential for that high not to be broken. You saw this happen with crypto back in 2017. If you want to, we can go back and we can take a look at it on the chart right before it had its all-time high. Now, when correlating it to the price of Bitcoin, going back and taking a look at what happened once again in 2017, we can obviously see that right as it hit its high, what ended up happening? It hit its all-time high. It saw a massive rejection in price. And then what ended up happening shortly after that? It tried going for a retest of the high and wasn't anywhere close. It tried hitting that 20. Obviously, it had its first attempt, and then the next day it had its second attempt, got closer, but got rejected on a wick, and then kind of went sideways for the next 2 days, followed by a low, then a lower low from what had been the previous area of support, going back to around that 14.6 area. And then, of course, it looked like it was going to try and run up again and try and do that retest of 20K. But what ended up happening, it fell flat, ended up hitting 17K. And that's where we saw our double top slash lower high, however you want to kind of look at it. Preferably speaking, obviously, when we're taking a look at this chart, you know, it's a lot of, this is a yearly kind of looking at, and by yearly, I should say, let me rephrase that. This is a year of price history on a weekly. So obviously it looks a little bit different, but this is a different chart because this correlates mainly to Pokemon reprints. And of course, Bitcoin doesn't have reprints, but still it's the same general fundamentals. You had it try at the high, it hit 189. You had it try at the high, 186. Of course, it fell flat. You know, same thing happened here, coupled by a lower area of support. One thing that's interesting, and when you take a look at this, is you had 116, then it went up 124, and then it went down, broke to as low as 100 at some sales, but from a weekly 110. So it was a lower high and a lower low. Of course, since then, been in an uptrend, but this is the first sign of weakness that we've actually seen. So whether you want to say it's the potential start of a downtrend, whether you want to say it's showing toppy signals, looking at this as a double top or not, either way, it shows general just weakness, in my personal opinion, from Evolving Skies when kind of trying to correlate it to what we saw back in 2017 when Bitcoin had its ultimate high. And you can, of course, go back test this on many different points if you really want to. We can go back and just say what's going on currently in Bitcoin as it stands right now from its previous high. Very, very similar signal. Obviously, the only difference with this is Bitcoin actually broke its high slightly by 3K and then has seen a massive rejection since. So there are instances where a double top actually occurs and it slightly breaks above. That's why it's also important to understand that just because it breaks above, it has to be able to hold that, because as you can see currently right now, we're about to potentially create a lower low on the macro trend from a weekly and a monthly perspective, which is showing just absolute blood. So I have a prediction we're going to see this correlated, whether it be with just general Evolving Skies booster box prices, couple that with a reprint and other factors that I've mentioned in the video. And I'm willing to eat my words for it. I will do a recap video at the end of the month or June 1st. And I'm telling you guys, like, this is going to be a recap video. I'm not even kidding you. Come June 1st, come end of the month, if you don't see this happen, then I will absolutely be shamed by the entire market. I am putting so much weight on this. And of course, you know, you could say this is going to destroy a lot of my credibility in regards to predictions, but there's just so many factors at play telling me that this is more than likely going to happen because of what I've, of course, learned from working with distributors for the past couple of years, what I've learned from just general technical analysis and correlation and trends. I just am at a point right now where I just think there's so many warning signals that Evolving Skies prices are going to go down, and probably the catalyst that's going to make this chart really look beautiful is that reprint that's going to happen, more than likely, in my opinion, sometime the end of this month. Like I said before, nothing I say is 100% financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just some crazy kid that works with distributors and has a lot of inside information and has been doing this for quite a bit now, and also understands just general market fundamentals. As you've followed me before, you probably know my background in economics. It's just something that I like to kind of talk about. And for that reason, I'm going to throw that out there. And we're going to be in for a wild ride potentially, because once I heard about this news of showing up in Walmart's, people didn't realize how big of a deal that was, because last time we saw these items come up, there was a reprint right around the corner for Unbroken Bond. So, but yeah, no. So as far as it goes though, kind of wrapping up, giving the main points of this video, as crazy as it sounds, I'm making a prediction once again that we're going to more than likely see a potential reprint or news of a reprint to happen sometime near the end of this month. If I'm wrong, I can eat my words. But the main correlation, or the main reasons I feel this way, is because, one, we had some products show up in the Walmart stores. These items, last time I remember seeing something such as this show up at a Walmart where there was a huge correlation, Unbroken Bonds. These showed up, and then of course they ended up coming out with a reprint shortly after for Unbroken Bonds, Elite Trainer boxes. Two, we've got Worlds right around the corner. Evolving Skies is an extremely expensive set, and they're going to want to make it affordable for people to open the product and be able to bring down the general cost of the cards for competitive play. And then, of course, talking about just non-specific reprints and just general, price correlation and trends and analysis. We know that stocks are correlated to Bitcoin, and we know that Bitcoin is correlated to Pokemon prices. Bitcoin just absolutely dumped. More than likely, you're going to see that follow with a lot of the Pokemon market. You've already seen a rejection at its almost last time prior high for Evolving Skies on the weekly. It hit 189. It did not break it. It got rejected, and it's gone down around roughly $15 to $20 since then. Therefore, it is showing a lot of signs of weakness in the market, both as a whole for crypto, for Bitcoin, and as well as, stocks and Pokemon as a retail market as well. So a lot of signs really showing weakness, and if you guys really want me to, I can do a full breakdown video as well on what we could potentially see for Pokemon prices in a recessionary period, what that kind of looks like. Obviously, I briefly kind of touched on the fact of what we saw with Diamond and Pearl EX era products being underprinted and what that could potentially mean for future markets. There's going to be, of course, a really in-depth video of that if you guys really want it, but once again, this is the main points of the video. I'm talking about why I think we have an Evolving Skies reprint looming on the horizon, and showing some of these items in stores is actually a lot bigger of a deal than people realize, because of what it actually correlates to in regards to what we've seen historically speaking from the Pokemon company. But as far as it goes, as always, you want to enter into our weekly giveaways. All you have to do is be subscribed, leave a like, and then comment down below on the videos we post Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. You can, of course, comment and like on any of the videos and multiple of the videos, so that allows you for up to 4 entries. And then on top of that, 3 winners each and every week that'll each be receiving 12 Brilliant Star booster packs. So multiple opportunities to enter, multiple opportunities to win. But as far as it goes, that is all I have for today's video. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Until then, I will see you guys on Friday. Peace.